Hello, today I'm building in Glimmerbrook and it is part 7 of my Glimmerbrook save file, and it is the second to last build for the entire save file, but this is the last build for the actual lots in Glimmerbrook because the last build is the magic realm. I'm doing this big magic school and there are little classrooms for each of the 3 sages. It's gonna be really cute. I'm really excited for it. I haven't finished it yet, but for this video, I believe I had a reference picture for this. I must have. So I'm gonna pull that up before I forget so you can kind of see it as the shell is coming together. So here's the picture. I mostly base it off of the shape of this. It feels just like very English cottage countryside build. And that's kind of what I want it to go for this build because this is a house for grandparents and it is like I have so much lore mixed into this like save file that I find it difficult to explain on the spot, but I'm gonna do my best. So I have this story in my head that these 2 kids move in with their grandparents. They originally were living in Chestnut Ridge and they moved to Glimmerbrook where they kind of discover their magical powers, and they have an aunt who also lives in the world. She is in that witchy cabin that I had built, I think a couple weeks ago and posted. And so this is the childhood home of that aunt, but also of their father who passed away, and so each of the kids are having the like old relatives' bedroom. So I kind of wanted to like capture that a little bit in the interior. So you'll see later on, much later on, it's towards the end of the video, that the 2 bedrooms I wanted to seem like some of like the clutter and toys were left over from the previous generation. And so now the new Sims are living in the house. And I haven't made the Sims yet. I've kind of fallen behind on it, but I'm gonna make them before I upload this because I like to have them in the little intro, which you would have already seen if you reached this part in the video anyway. But yeah, I need to make them. I made like a version of them, and then I like it was so long ago that I want to redo it and probably just base it on the ant that I have made already, which is still unnamed. I didn't name most of the Sims in the save file. Um, I think I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I'm going to be returning to Twitch and I'm going to be streaming me putting together the save file, which includes finishing the create a sim and like building the world story a little bit. So I'll have all of the lots up on the gallery probably within a month for download, and then I'll have the save file which will be a little bit more detailed. I'll have more relationships with for all of the Sims. I'm hoping to have family pictures on the walls and stuff. I hope it all stays. I know that family pictures don't really stay on the gallery usually is what I've seen from my experience, but maybe they fixed it. Maybe I can upload cute little selfies of the Sims in their bedrooms and stuff. But yeah, I talked through most of the shelf, but that's okay because I just placed some windows around. I wanted the little sunroom on the side. I just played around with some of my favorite windows in the game. I layered a base game window with some of those stone get together windows, which I think look really cute. I want to try something different. They don't have that like weird flickering issue when you like overlap items. And I did look from the inside to make sure it looked fine. And it looked good, so I kept it like that. And for the landscaping, I wanted a bunch of bushes and flowers around. I have ivy climbing up the walls, like most of my builds. The wisteria, which has been a like a part of all the builds in the save file. They're covered in wisteria and all this ivy. I use about 15 packs, I want to say. I have them all listed in the description. So I own more packs than that, but I limited it down to what I thought would be like important for the save file and what I would want the builds to have. And so it doesn't use every single pack. It just uses the ones that I decided to pick out, which now that I'm on build number like, well, it's not build 7. Is it? Yeah, I guess technically build 7 because one lot has 3 builds. Um, I kind of talked for so long now that I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah, I lost it. Um, in the front, I am doing all of this little tall grass around, and oh, okay, I remember my thought now. I wished that I had picked Strangerville as one of my build packs for this. I don't know why I didn't, because I love the windows, and every time I do one of these builds, I'm like, oh, I wish I could put the Strangerville windows. And I know that I could easily have just added that pack into the save file, but my brain doesn't work that way. And so I already committed to this, so I couldn't change anything. And so I didn't change it. But Strangerville would have been beautiful in this world, and I'm excited to do more builds with Strangerville. I have another build that I'm working on that's outside of this that I do use the Strangerville windows, so I'm like, it took me so long to start using them again. I've been working on the save file for like a few months now, and it's not all that I've been building, but it's been most of what I've been building. And the other builds I feel like I've done were pack limited builds too, so I haven't really been able to do a build using like every pack that I have, which I guess is a good thing. It means more people could download on the gallery since I don't use like 2 items from one pack. But yeah, I also did a little horse stable in the back because I had figured that if they lived in Chestnut Ridge, they probably rode horses and they probably had a horse, and I didn't want them to give up their horse. So I have a little stable in the back, which in my head, well, no, never mind, scratch that. That doesn't work. I was gonna say maybe they used to visit and they used to bring their horse here, but then I remembered that they've never been to Glimmerbrook before, so that wouldn't have happened at all. So I guess the grandparents just built the stable, and that's the thing, because the aunt's girlfriend or fiance, I don't remember if they're engaged, she's a woodworker, so it would make sense for her to build the stable for the grandparents, like, in an instant. It's like, "Oh, like, my grandkids are moving in with me, and they have a horse," and they're like, "Yeah, give me, like, a week, and I'll do it." It's kinda like Robin from Stardew Valley. I'm also realizing as I'm watching this that I haven't done any terrain, like, in this build. It's just completely flat, but I feel like it works for this, and it didn't need any terrain. And I feel like especially if they have a horse, it's better if it's kind of flat. I wanted to try and put in some of the, like, the horse obstacle courses and the jumping and stuff, but it didn't work out because it would have taken up so much space, and so I guess they can't do that here, but I feel like when I'm going to play with this save file, I'm probably gonna add it in and probably move some stuff around. So if you download it, feel free to make it your own and stuff. And if you want to download 1 or 2 builds and just add them into whatever world, that's of course an option for you. I don't know what you're gonna do with this or if you're gonna do anything with it, but yeah, if you do end up downloading them, I'd love to hear about it. They're not on the gallery yet. I remember in the first video I said that maybe I was gonna upload each, like, week, and then people could, like, download them as I go. That didn't end up happening because I wanna kinda go back in and make sure they're perfect and play test them fully and make sure that everything works that I want to work. Like, I'm not going to make sure every bookcase is functional because I do use some of them as decorative pieces just built into other pieces of furniture. But yeah, this is the interior now. I it like it felt like a big house, but then I kind of struggled to figure out where I wanted stuff to be. So I end up with the kitchen in the back left. The front left is a dining room. I'm doing the bathroom right there. This little area that I'm about to do probably, yeah, that room is going to be an office. The front one with the bay window is the living room, and the sunroom ends up being a little tea room where you could go and have some tea. And up here it is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms up here. So this is a 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom. house. Yeah, because there's a bathroom downstairs too. And then I have a cauldron magic room that also doubles as a storage room, which has kind of old toys and stuff, which is kind of like I figure that as they were cleaning out the bedrooms for the grandkids to move in, they kind of put some stuff in their cauldron room as storage, but it's very small, so they probably wouldn't be able to fit a whole bunch. But yeah, I start with the kitchen, I think, after, yeah, right here is the kitchen. I wanted the cauldron in here. I don't remember if I end up keeping the cauldron in here. I wanted it to work. I guess we'll see. I completely forget. I edited this part like days ago. Yeah, there it goes. It goes upstairs. So no cauldron in here. I do put a tiny little cauldron in here though on like a table and a counter. So they could do kitchen magic. So my thoughts on this family is that I think that the grandma would definitely be into kitchen magic and cooking with intention and, brewing up different teas and stuff. And that's kind of like how she uses her powers. I'm not sure about the grandfather. I didn't think all of this through. I'll probably write up little stories to go with each of the families when I actually finish them and also when I play them a little bit. But it really doesn't matter because people could just like make the Sims to do whatever they want them to do. But yeah, I liked this little kitchen. I have been trying out using console tables in the kitchens to kind of break up the space a little bit and to change up me just using the same horse ranch counters all the time. It's such a good pack though, and I love those cabinets so much. I think before this, I used to just use the cottage living counters all the time, and now I have another one that I could go back and forth with. But yeah, this is a little area where I thought like that's maybe her spell book, and she has her little air like her little pots and tea kettle and stuff that she brews potions in down here, which isn't realistic for The Sims. You can't do that, but I was thinking that that's what she does, in my head. And yeah, I put in like all these little clutter items around. I wanted this place to feel lived in, and I've been slacking on clutter recently in some of my builds, which I've noticed when I go to take a picture and post it on Instagram. And I'm like, there's not a lot of places that I feel proud to actually post a whole picture of. So I was really thinking about that in this build and wanting enough clutter that it looks pretty, but like not too much where the house is no longer functional. So there's plenty of counter space. I know that in the witchy cabin, I left one counter open and someone commented that on my Instagram post. They were like, "Do they only have one counter space?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because I covered the entire other counters in books and a bunch of other stuff. But this one, I think there should be more than one, at least two or three. And this is the bathroom. It's a pretty spacious bathroom for a downstairs bathroom. I had a lot of space to work with. Normally, my bathrooms are like 4 tiles for the downstairs, if that. Sometimes I forget altogether, but this downstairs was massive. Like, I usually am not good at creating large homes, which I thought I got better at. And then I started another build yesterday that needed to be 4 bedrooms, and I had to keep expanding it, like changing it as I was going because there was not enough space. And this is the office space. I wanted to bring in some magical elements and witchy clutter around, but I also wanted to feel natural. So it was kind of just like this family lives here. They have magical abilities, and that's just like part of their clutter that's around instead of it being just like potions everywhere, which I also do, but for this build. I don't think I put any potion bottles in this one at all. I guess I'll see. I put like little magical like perfume bottles around. They're not magical, but to me, they look like they could hold different potions and stuff. And maybe she also does like beauty magic where like she has sets her intention with perfumes and uses different scents to elicit certain um like moods for herself throughout the day. Maybe that's what she does too. But yeah, I like this little sunroom. I wanted to make sure that there was a fireplace here, and there is. So yeah, those are some of the perfume bottles I was talking about that's on top of the fireplace that I use as potion bottles. They're just base game. Um, I use them so much in the save file. It got a little bit repetitive, but I think it works because I don't think anyone's looking that, like, much into the build, but as I was placing them, I realized that I've used them in every build, which I guess just this they get it from the same buyer, I guess. I also forgot to mention the colors that I'm using as always. Uh, so I didn't really focus much on what colors or a color palette for this build. I really just kind of picked out what I liked, which is normally a lot of brown, green, and yellow. For the dining room, I thought I was using that red curtain. That was gonna be a surprise for me. I don't use red in my builds very often. I am planning on doing some, like, Christmassy build at some point in December, which will use a bunch of red and a bunch of green. So I'm excited for that too. I have some plans for winter themed builds. I want to make a fairy winter village, which might be ambitious because that would be a giant build. And I was just talking to a friend about how I need to take a break from doing large builds after I finish the ones that I'm working on and just do some like 1 to 2 bedroom builds. And then I'm also thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make this fairy village. Maybe they're like little tiny homes that don't even have like a lot of space in them. But yeah, I made this little entryway. I just put some furniture around that I thought made sense for it. And immediately for this living room, I wanted the little bay window seat that comes with cats and dogs, I believe. And I didn't know what the layout of this living room was going to be like. So the bay window doesn't have a view of the TV, I don't think, but there is a couch over here. And yeah, there is enough space for all four Sims to sit and watch TV, which doesn't normally happen. I don't think when I play gameplay, my Sims aren't all watching the TV at the same time. But that is something I realize that I don't give enough like seating for the like size family that would fit into a house. But this one, I believe that there is enough space. If they have guests over, then they're not watching TV anyway. Um, this is the grandparents' bedroom up here. Oh, wait, I just said that I don't use red, and this whole bedroom is red themed. So I'm a liar as always. But yeah, I guess I was feeling a red theme for this, probably because I liked the bed. I'm so upset that we can't change comforters with the bed frames like we could in The Sims 2. So a little disappointing as always every time I pick out a bed, which is probably why I went with a red theme because I liked the bed frame and the sheets just happened to have been red and cream. This is the cauldron room. I kind of skipped over the bathrooms up here because they are boring. I did almost nothing in them. I put like maybe a couple robes, a towel rack, and just some basic bathroom items that I always use, so I skipped over it. But yeah, this is the storage room I was talking about where they kind of moved some of the toys and stuff in here while they were making space for the grandkids to move in. And it's like, I wish this room could have been bigger, and I probably could have expanded it out a little bit in the front, but I didn't wanna do that because I didn't wanna have to change anything. And I also feel pressure when I want to change a room and make it slightly bigger, because then I'm thinking about the video and moving the camera too much, and just, like, I don't know, I get in my head a lot, but yeah, I think it's a fine size for it. Um, I wish I could have done more with the magical element in here, but this side of the room I think comes together nicely. I think it looks good enough for a little magic room. If I wanted another cauldron somewhere, I could do it outside. But yeah, I put a hay bale in here just because it looked like it fit no other reason. It probably is a little out of place, but I liked how it, like, visually looked with all the other clutter that I added around. And this is the younger grandchild's bedroom, which used to be the father's room is what I was thinking. And I felt like this used to be his fish tank. And so, like, the granddaughter moves into here, and I think she really likes science. She has this little, like, science station, which could be her way into potion making. Um, and then this room is for the teenager. They like art and painting, stuff like that. So I give them a little easel. They have a cross stitch box, which I like to think is their mother's passed down to them. Forgot to mention that this room is the aunt's old room. So I guess that's like kind of implied. But yeah, I went around and I put all these different high school years, like art pieces, because it's a teenager's bedroom and I didn't want it to be boring and I wanted it to feel realistic, and like they moved in and kind of like put up all their drawings and some old newspaper that doesn't have pee stains on it. That's just the old newspaper swatch. It is not the other one. Yeah, I figured they'd like just like grab newspapers that were in the storage room and put it down. Then I'm just finishing up the build, putting lights around places, turning the lights from the harsh bright white to a warmer yellow tone, and just scattered books around. And yeah, that's the whole video. I'm not sure which video I'm posting next week. It most likely won't be the large magic school because I'm not done with it yet. I have a little base game build that is done. That might be what I post next week. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.